Okay, thank y'all for joining us for our Beef Brunch news update on Tuesday, November 23rd. Hopefully I've got that date correct since I messed it up last time. We're gonna kind of flip the order of what we normally do. I'm gonna talk about a few events and things that we've got going on as we start to wrap up the year, which is kind of a crazy thought for me, that we at the end of November, kicking off the holiday season with Thanksgiving coming up this week. So just in terms of our events for beef cattle producers, on Monday, November 29th at the Point Coupee Sheriff's Communication Center, we have a free training for Louisiana Beef Quality Assurance Certification. So again, Monday, November 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Point Coupee Sheriff's Communication Center. That's in Morganza. We do need you, if you're going to come or plan on coming, please RSVP by November 19th to Randi Lyn Toups. I will have her information in the video and podcast descriptions. Vince can come on and talk about that too in a minute during his news update if he would like, because he is cooking for us. So you will get fed, but we need a head count to know if you plan on being there for that. The next thing to discuss is the Louisiana Forage and Grasslands Council annual meeting that is on Friday, December the 3rd, from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. The registration and view of the commercial exhibits will start as early as 8:15, and then the speakers will kick off at 9. There is no registration for that event, no registration fee, but if you'd like to become a member of LFGC, that membership is $35. You do not have to be a member to attend the conference, so you can still come and listen to all of those speakers. The contact for that is Dr. Ed Twidwell, and I will have his email in the video and podcast descriptions as well. Then our December Beef Brunch Educational Series webinar will be on Tuesday, December the 14th at 10:30 a.m. We have Dr. Gary Hay coming in. The title of his talk is Selecting Beef Bulls for Terminal Crossbreeding Programs. Again, that is a live event. You can go to lsuagcenter.com/beef brunch to find the link to join that, and then we'll record it and I will get it online as soon as we can get it edited and get it uploaded. Then the last thing, I keep mentioning it because we do have spots available still for the Advanced Master Cattleman program. I have the registration link posted as well. You do have to have successfully completed Master Cattleman to register for Advanced Master Cattleman. But that kicks off, I believe January is the first workshop. And so you want to go ahead and get registered for that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Vince for our update in Central and South Louisiana. I'm saying bye because I have a meeting. I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you all for having me this week. You know, in South Louisiana and Central Louisiana, we, you know, all spring long. In fact, I visited with someone on the phone today that, you know, we had nearly 70 inches of rain as of sometime in August. Right now, we're powder house dry. I mean, the soils are hard, the ground's dry, the ryegrass is struggling to make inroads with where we need to be this time of the year. We're feeding a lot of hay and some subpar quality hay, so it's imperative that we get on ryegrass pretty soon, and rain is desperately needed in the central part of the state and up down to the coast. In fact, it's been dry. So, you know, that in a nutshell, you know, we supplementing cows right now. Producers are searching for the cheapest supplement possible. With the increased cost of fertilizer at, you know, $800+ a ton in most cases for top dress. You know, they're looking at, you know, the multitude of different supplement tubs out there. There's no cheap ones this year, folks. Just going to have to bite the bullet, or you know, cows may suffer a little. But I've had questions about, you know, whether do I fertilize ryegrass or not. You're $35 in on seed costs right now, so. If you're not going to fertilize it, you wasted $35 an acre virtually on seed costs. You know, the imperative, you know, the reality is that you need to fertilize the ryegrass because cows are going to need ryegrass more than ever this year. If we don't get any you know, significant rain soon, we're going to run through our hay stocks pretty quick. It seems like the calf market has an uptick here lately. The board has certainly been up the last week or so. Today up pretty heavy up. You know, it was up over $1.00 as I looked at it several times today. But in general, I mean, in cows, pastures are short. We've had a couple of light frosts that have knocked our summer forages, down to nothing. So supplementing and feeding hay is inevitable right now here in central and south Louisiana, and waiting on ryegrass, waiting on rain, which is an unusual thing for us. The last couple of fronts that came through was we just got a trace, not even nothing measurable. Last night just wet the concrete outside, so to speak. So virtually no type of runoff, no accumulation to speak of. So it's time to get rid of cull cows. If you hadn't palpated your spring calving groups, it's the market is a little bit softer in that area, according to some of the reports, and Jason will cover that a little bit later. But it's time to get those out of the pastures if things are getting short, and cost of supplementing and hay stocks are looking as though they're going to be short. And the kill cow market is still fairly favorable on in the 50-cent range. So get those cows out of the pasture and get them moved, and do your research. Don't overexpend on supplements, but you're going to have something moving forward, and hopefully we get some rain. So that's about all I have, Jason.
Thank you, Vince. I believe it sounded like a while ago Lee was on the phone. So Lee, if you're still with us, we'll turn it over to you real quick for a report out of Northwest Louisiana.
Thank you, Jason. I'm glad to be with y'all here today, and just want to say a quick word, being Thanksgiving week, how thankful I am for the producers that we get to work with, and for the colleagues that I get to work with. The knowledge of the beef industry and agricultural in general is so tremendous amongst some of our colleagues, and I just want to say thanks to them, and thanks for all of you for listening to these news updates, and of course our Beef Brunch Educational Series. As far as the northwest part of the state goes, ditto. It's dry. Smattering of rain last night. It was night before last. By the time you listen to this, really, really dry for this time of year. Ryegrass is, I would say it's struggling. Here and there you'll see some patches that's doing really good, some wheat that's up really nicely. No cattle being grazed on ryegrass that I'm aware of in my travels and driving around. I'm sure there's somebody that's got some on something, but none that I've found. We need a rain in the sorest of ways. They're predicting a pretty decent chance coming in on Thanksgiving Day for up here. I sure hope by the next time we talk that we can report a good rain and improved pasture conditions as far as ryegrass and all the winter plantings are going. The clover's up pretty decent in a lot of places that I've been to, but the problem is the lack of moisture there again. And so, I talked to somebody the other day who's still working a few cows. They just got them wrapped up there. Not much cow working going on, even though I want to agree and just reiterate what Vince said about those cull cows. Gosh, everything is so expensive. Holding on to these older, poor performing cows, these open cows, it's just a tough thing to do whenever you got that high killing cow market and of course high inputs. So it's a different conversation when these killing cows get dirt cheap. But whenever you can get decent money on some of this stuff, yeah, it's time to maybe part company with your culls. As far as calves goes, there are some weaned calves, some spring-born calves that folks have weaned and have put a pre-vac program backgrounded them and such, and some of those are making their way to markets. Prices on good cattle are good, as Vince alluded to. Really some rays of hope on these 500 and above bigger number one type steers. I just a comment I want to make on it though. I have never seen the level of disparity in the calf market as what exists today. In one breath, you can talk to somebody that's selling some really nice 500-pound number one steers and getting top dollar on them, and in the next breath, You can talk to somebody selling some lighter, plainer cattle that are just straight off the cows, you know, high risk as far as health goes, and they'll just bottom out. It's just, I've never quite seen the disparity. I'm sure it's existed before, but as far as quality goes, quality is king right now as far as these calf prices in my mind. Hay's being fed. Some people are a little worried about hay supplies, and like Vince alluded to, they're searching for alternatives as far as winter supplementation. And he put it well when he said that there's just no cheap option here. You're going to pay no matter what. And I would extend that to the fertilizer debate going on right now. You're going to pay for it. You need it. You have to have it. Especially if you paid money and planted a bunch of ryegrass or other winter plantings, you've got to have that forage, and you need to do everything in your power. We can't control the moisture unless you irrigating, and so you've got to do everything you can to ensure success. So that's may have to bite the bullet and kind of get you some fertilizer purchased. Hope that news is a little better next time we visit. Hopefully we'll get a rain. Hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe some of these input prices will have, if nothing else, peaked, and maybe we're starting to see a decline in those. But with that, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving once again. Look forward to visiting with you guys here in another couple of weeks.
Thank you, Lee. I'm sitting here looking at the U.S. Drought Monitor for Louisiana, and the entire swath of North Louisiana is abnormally dry to moderately dry all the way across, and it is definitely too dry to for comfort whenever it comes to folks who are needing this cool season annual grasses to come on and perform, and everybody's going to be short on hay, or at least short on quality hay, just because of the summer that we had early on. There may have been a good bit of hay made in North Louisiana. Some of it may not have been very good quality, but you get down to Vince's part of the world, and they were walking knee deep in grass and couldn't get out there to cut it because it was raining so much. So it's we need those cool season annuals to perform. I was reading earlier this afternoon, whenever I was preparing for today, that 23% of the nation's cow herd right now is in a state that is moderately or worse in drought. There's expectations out there that the beef cow slaughter is on pace to finish up this year about 10% higher than last year, and that'll be the largest number since 2011. A lot of that is being driven by drought in those high population areas of our nation's cow herd. So I guess I say that to reiterate the point that Lee and Vince have already made about take advantage of these higher cull cow prices right now. And they may not last forever. So if you do have some of those that need to go to town, now may be the time to do that. The November cattle on feed report that came out this past Friday didn't cause a whole lot of surprise in the markets. Feedlot placements in October were 2.245 million head, which is 102.4% of last year. Marketings in October were 1.7 million head, which is 95.5% of 1 year ago. And the November 1 on feed total was 11.9 million head, which is 99.8% of last year. This does make the 5th consecutive month of year-over-year declines in feedlot totals. In the box beef complex, the choice cutout moved $6.61 lower this week to $279.67 a hundred, and the choice select spread was $14.69. Active trade occurred in the north at mostly 133 to 134, which is $1 or $2 higher compared to the prior week. Trade in the South was moderate at 132, which was $2 to $4 higher than the prior week. To average out the week in the 5-area feeding region, the Fed steer negotiated cash price was 127 to 135 on a confirmed 99,759 head. That is down about 3,800 head from the previous week. So just to put it into perspective, we have not seen consistent 130 lives since the second quarter of 2017. That's the last time that we saw live cattle in the $30s consistently, was in the second quarter of 2017, to give a little perspective. Higher futures continue to be assisted by these higher cash trades. Futures ended the week with December trading up 37 cents at 133.52. Heavy trade volumes in February were up 45 cents at 137.70, and April was up 42 cents at 141.30. So again, a little perspective, we got to go back to the last quarter of 2016 to find live prices above $1.40. 500 to 600 pound steers, medium and large 1s and 2s, sold from 148 to 161, which is mostly steady with the previous week, but that is $14.50 above year ago prices. And as Lee was saying, a lot of disparity in terms of these cattle prices, these calf prices. 700 to 800 pound feeder steers, medium and large 1s and 2s, so 143 to 150, which is steady all the way to $20 higher than the previous week. And that's about $13.50 above year ago prices on that class of cattle. Futures ended the week for our feeders with January trading down 45 cents at 160.92, March down 17 cents at 163.37, and April down 20 cents at 165.87. Lean cull cows averaged out about 50 cents, which is steady compared to the previous week. So as Vince alluded to earlier, we're still running around that 50-cent mark. Some of those high yielding cows will bring you better than that, but just a good average is in that 50-cent range. Moving on to our feedstuffs, soybean meal is up $24.50 at $395 a ton. Soybean hulls are steady at $155 a ton. Cottonseed meal is steady at $300 a ton. Whole cottonseed is steady at $260 a ton. Rice bran is steady at $195 a ton. Corn gluten feed, the 60% product, is $610 a ton, and it's steady. DDGs are up $38.50 at $185 a ton, and corn is up 12 cents a bushel at $5.87 a bushel. So with that, I'm going to reiterate the fact that we are very thankful that we do live in a nation where we can freely farm the way that we do. I think we've got a lot to be thankful for in terms of the many things that we have in Louisiana that do challenge us sometimes. Sometimes we don't think about those as blessings, but sometimes those challenges do make us stronger. So we ought to be thankful for that, and we're certainly appreciate all of the folks that do listen to these reports and do lean on the Ag Center for a little bit of education. I can tell you that the four of us, we thoroughly enjoy our jobs. We enjoy what we get to do. We enjoy the people that we get to interact with on a daily basis, and it's certainly a blessing for us. So with that, I'll leave it open to Lee and Vince. Y'all got anything y'all want to add real quick before we close out?
Yeah, Jason, I just want to add in recapping on some of the upcoming events that Ashley spoke of. The BQA that's being held down in Morganza in Point Coupee Parish, the registration actually closed on Friday the 19th. I'm certain that we'll take, Randi Lyn Toups is actually doing the registrations for that, and she called me with the closing number. But anyhow, I'm sure we'll take some late registrations. So if you have an interest in participating, we have seen where the BQA certification has played a role into some of these load lot sales that have been going on. to the feed yards directly. So it does have a net effect on what you get coming to you as a producer. So take advantage of those trainings and make sure that you let us know if you want to attend. And we do hold several of those throughout the year. So it's important that we get everybody up to speed on current BQA qualifications. So with that, that's all I had.